Like Dame Dash knows when they were going on tour that Jay-Z used to have transgender women on there. On the tour bus, he knows that. He knows that Jay-Z used to prefer transgender women.
They didn't do anything to stop her from Keep Talking. And a lawsuit suing her would do that. And if they sued Pierce instead of a cease and assist, then everyone would know that you could get sued for that.
Stupid. And yeah, and I still had a bit of, I wasn't as evolved as a person. I got these feelings, but I didn't trust them. It was early, and I was feeling things, and I was like, that ain't right. I always had good instincts. It's like, that ain't right, but, I still was doing my thing. And
You image yourself after a gay painter. Okay. They normally want to look like a gay painter.
So there are some wild stories gaining traction online about Jay-Z and his alleged preferences in the bedroom. There's his publicist, Jonathan Hay, who previously worked for Rihanna when she was first signed to Jay-Z's label. And according to Jonathan, Jay-Z prefers trans women. Jonathan also claimed that Dame Dash knows about this, but is holding back to protect Jay's reputation in the industry. Now, this may sound like another baseless rumor, but those old enough to remember Jay's beginnings will know that these rumors have been following him for years. And this didn't just start overnight. There's been talk in the industry for a minute that Jay might be on the DL. And some sources even claimed that Jay-Z and former NFL player Larry Johnson had something going on back in the day. Jay even helped Larry into Rocawear and gave him a top position in the brand. And then some insiders claimed that Jay and Larry shared an apartment together, and this was after Jay and Beyonce went public with their romance. Of course, most of these stories have been scrubbed from the internet, but that doesn't mean that people just forgot about it. Now, let's make things even messier and bring Diddy into the mix. So there are heavy rumors that Diddy's got a whole collection of freak-off tapes featuring some of the biggest names in hip-hop. And according to some sources, Jay-Z might be one of them. So insiders claim that Diddy kept these tapes as a kind of insurance against anyone who might cross him. And that means Jay could be on camera doing things he might not want the world to see. And now this publicist Jonathan Hay is urging Dame Dash to spill everything he knows about Jay-Z, including Jay's rumored obsession with trans women. Now, we all know Dame has had a love-hate relationship with Jay-Z ever since the Rockefeller days, and he isn't exactly known for holding his tongue. So how did Dame react to Jonathan Hay claiming he knows about Jay and trans women? And is there any truth to these rumors that Diddy has Jay-Z on tape with Larry Johnson? Let's get into it.
So I don't know why. I wish Dame Dash would come out and, say everything, but maybe in his own way, he's trying to, protect the hip hop culture and knows how many people could be crushed if he came out and really spoke about Jay-Z's secrets.
So one name that keeps popping up in connection to Diddy's freak-off tapes is his longtime friend Jay-Z. In case you missed it, an attorney representing some of Diddy's accusers recently revealed that there's a tape out there featuring Diddy and another A-list celeb, and this footage is allegedly being shopped around Hollywood right now. In a recent News Nation interview, attorney Ariel Mitchell-Kidd said she was actually approached about getting involved with the sale of this Diddy tape, but she straight up refused.
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill.
And get this, Mitchell-Kidd claims that the celeb caught on tape with Diddy is actually even more high profile than Diddy himself.
And I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
the
I can't explain who the person was, but
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video is nature.
But why are so many people online convinced that this high-profile person is Jay-Z? Well, for starters, Jay and Diddy go way back, and they've been tight for years. So tight that Diddy once said that only his mom and Jay-Z are allowed to call him by his government name.
There's only one person. Oh, go on. And I call him Sean. That's Jay-Z. We call each other Sean.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody else could call me Sean.
He's the only person who's Sean approved.
There's not a single person that
outside of family.
That should be outside of my mother.
Okay, just
they should be calling me. Yeah, they should be calling me Sean.
And then we also know Jay has a very messy history when it comes to his dating life, especially around relationships with questionable age gaps. Remember Ramir Satterwhite, the man who claims Jay-Z is his biological dad? Well, allegedly, Ramir's mom was only 16 when she got pregnant, which might explain why Jay has been dodging the paternity test for years.
Well, the first time I heard that Jay-Z probably was my father when I was 8 years old. And, my mom, we was actually sitting in the house on a regular day, listening to music. My mom came up to me and was like, "Hey, Rob, I got something to tell you. That's your dad for real." And I'm like, I was shocked. Like, Mom, what are you talking about? I'm young. Like, it's nothing your parents would just make up like that. You don't just say this type of person is your father, Jay-Z. Like, I didn't get a fair due process in court. I never got my chance to talk. It basically just all got pushed to the side. Like, this was never about, you know, chasing anybody or trying to receive anything from it. This was like, you know, I'm trying to really see who my dad is. Everyone who really knows me know how I am. I stay to myself, I work every day, I take care of my family, I do my own music. I've been doing music since I was a kid. It's not nothing that just popped up. I ain't just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm gonna write a song and put it out there and I'm gonna go follow and try to chase one of these billionaires and say they my dad. No, I've always been me.
And let's not forget that before he was rolling with Diddy, Jay was BFFs with R. Kelly, and multiple sources have alleged that Jay-Z knew exactly what R. Kelly was doing long before Kelly's crimes were publicly exposed.
R. Kelly was the first corporately sponsored in the United States. Everybody knew. That's why I couldn't really watch that documentary, because half of the people that was in there, I can't believe he did it. Go get the too. I watched you, dog. I watched y'all make these deals. Don't nobody want to talk about Aaliyah. Don't nobody want to talk about that.
Yeah,
If she had been alive now, there's a lot of people that wouldn't have jobs. Funny how that worked out for some people.
But what about those rumors that Jay-Z swings both ways? Well, that's one rumor his PR team allegedly tried hard to keep under wraps. But let's be real, the internet never forgets. And now people are once again talking about Jay's alleged affair with male model turned football player Larry Johnson. Now, before we get into that, let's talk about Larry Johnson's messed up history with women. Since 2003, this guy has been arrested at least 6 times for DV and other attacks on women. So isn't it funny how Jay-Z always seems to keep close to these supposedly closeted dudes with a reputation for getting physical with women? Now, most of the stories about Jay-Z and Larry Johnson's close friendship have mysteriously disappeared online, but I found this 2009 article from 97.9 The Beat titled "Is Jay-Z Gay?", where an anonymous source who claimed to work at Trump Tower said that Jay-Z and Larry were living there together while Beyonce was nowhere in sight. The insider said, "I am writing you to ask a question. I work in the building where Jay-Z lives, Trump Tower, and though he and B are together, I've never seen her in this building. But what's strange to me, I see Larry Johnson all the time. In fact, he lives with Jay-Z. The other night, they attended Cabinets games. When did they become so close? And why is Larry living with Jay? I have some video footage from my phone of them together in the building. Is Jay gay?" And let's not ignore the way Jay-Z treats Beyonce. We all remember the cheating scandal, but even beyond that, fans have pointed out how Jay barely shows her any real love in public. Like, Beyonce will gush over him in front of everyone, but he's usually pretty cold about it. At the 2023 Grammys, Beyonce called Jay my beautiful husband, but then the following year, he referred to her in that cringy speech as this young lady.
I want to thank my beautiful husband, my beautiful 3 children who are at home watching. I'd like to thank the queer community for your love.
I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work.
But one of the biggest hints about Jay-Z's rumored DL lifestyle came from his former friend Jaz-O, who claimed that Jay, just like Diddy, allegedly performed certain favors for higher-ups to climb the industry ranks. Now, this interview with Jaz-O was scrubbed from the internet, but it popped up on Lipstick Alley back in 2009. And based on the comments, fans were convinced Jaz-O was telling the truth. And that's not even where it ends. One forum user brought up an old prediction from Wendy Williams at the start of 2008, right before she kicked off her own talk show. The clip itself might be gone by now, but someone on Lipstick Alley transcribed Wendy's words, and it said, "Beyonce will cheat on Jay-Z. Beyonce is getting tired of Jay. Not enough to leave him, because even she realizes the cash camel that Jay is, but enough to let a backup dancer or a hot upcoming one-hit wonder blow her back out. The first ever gay X-tape featuring 2 prominent hip-hop artists will surface. It's only a matter of time. A lot of artists almost got pulled out of the closet kicking and screaming in 2007. Do you not think one of these ecstasy-induced idiots is stupid enough to tape a how you doing encounter? Wait and see." Now fast forward to 2024, and it's crazy how many of Wendy's past predictions turned out to be spot on. It seems whenever folks called her out for spreading gossip or lying just for attention, she was really just trying to expose the shady side of the industry while keeping her own back covered. But we're not done yet. There's also this blind item from the 90s or early 2000s that just resurfaced online, hinting at 2 major hip-hop moguls who are allegedly living that down-low lifestyle. The blind read, "These 2 guys are powerhouses in the world of hip-hop. They're equally rich and famous. They like to go out on the town together in style. It's limos, Cristal champagne, and bodyguards all the way. Girls are drawn to them like flies, and they have their choice of the foxiest models in town. Sometimes they party all night, but sometimes they go home alone. Well, not exactly alone. They've got each other. These 2 macho dudes are secretly bisexual and feel safe fooling around together because neither will risk talking about it." So back in the day, fans thought the blind item was referencing Jay-Z and his former business partner Dame Dash. But looking at it now, a lot of people are saying it's more likely about Jay and Diddy. You've probably noticed that everyone's been buzzing about why Jay-Z is keeping quiet about all the accusations surrounding Diddy. Well, word on the street is that Diddy allegedly recorded Jay at one of the freak-off parties without Jay's knowledge and has been using that footage to blackmail him for years. It kind of explains why Jay hasn't publicly cut ties with Diddy, even with all the sickening allegations coming to light. Rumor has it that Jay knows Diddy still has a lot of influence, and someone in Diddy's camp could easily drop those tapes at any moment. And now to add some more fuel to the fire, Rihanna's former publicist is claiming that Dame Dash knows all of Jay's secrets. And apparently, one of those secrets is Jay's preference for trans women.
You know, I've got mad respect for Dame Dash. I've never worked with Dame Dash, unfortunately. I've worked with Jay-Z. directly. But as far as Dame Dash, I've never worked with him, and I think it's amazing for him to come out and say that. And he could come out and say he could say a whole lot more, because really he knows everything. Like Dame Dash knows when they were going on tour that Jay-Z used to have transgender women on there. On the tour bus, he knows that. He knows that Jay-Z used to prefer transgender women. So I don't know why. I wish Dame Dash would come out and, you know, say everything, but maybe in his own way he's trying to, you know, protect the hip-hop culture, and knows how many people could be crushed if he came out and really spoke about Jay-Z's secrets.
You've been in the industry for so long, for, you know, almost 3 decades now, probably, you know, just dabbling in it. When it comes to that specific thing, because we've seen where people are speaking on the woman that was in the Biggie Smalls, One More Chance video, or whichever video it was, the Big Papa video, I'm sorry. We see that had a lead as a transgender woman, and that story was making headlines. Was there or is there a fascination in the transgender world in hip hop when you were coming at, like, an unwritten rule or a myth that there's a thing for transgenders within the hip hop community? Because it seems to be almost like it was taboo back then, but these things are coming to light now.
I think with the transgender, you know, the transgender women, I feel like it's more common in New York than it is anywhere else. Like being in New York, you know, you see them everywhere. She, her, right? You see it everywhere. Whereas down in the South, like where I was from, I've never really experienced that at all. You know, so I don't know if that's part of it, but it seems like they set out to do that.
But what's your take on all these allegations about Jay-Z supposedly being yet another